ordered anything off the Amazon. Ordered last Wednesday. What the hell? Oh my god. Oh. Dorothy Spornak, god damn you, GoGameGo!
I think that needs a t-shirt.
Papa Pete has the best entrances. You gotta love that.
You know what? Now I know what you would look like if you were between a couple of butt cheeks, Pete.
Wow.
Crack kills. Crack kills. Oh, we're a clever bunch, aren't we?
A bad sequel giving birth.
That makes it a 3P.
Oh.
You know, that would make the third episode actually. Well, it would be like Indiana Jones, right? Even though the first two were good, but that third one was the best.
The third one was the best.
That's where it would be. You'd be like the best of that trilogy.
The best. What do you got there, Pete? Melonhead.
Picaroons, Melonhead, one of my personal favorites that comes out the beginning of June, right around my birthday every year. So I always enjoy that in the summer, and it's a desperately hot day here again today. So
is that a cat with a mustache?
That is, yeah, that's pretty much what it looks like right there. They put a different, you send in pictures
the water
different cats on every year.
With a watermelon helmet. There you go.
I thought you were calling Pete a cat with a mustache. Who's that cat with the mustache?
Power up time.
He doesn't even have a mustache.
Named after me.
Melonhead.
Pete, you need to get Coke on a can.
I won't go there. People won't watch the show if I go there.
What is our show? It's a movie night.
It is a movie night. Welcome to GoGameGo. We're back. It's Wednesday night. It's 7:00, and here we are.
Crow has 11 bad movies that he likes.
So here's the thing. I was telling Jeff that I wanted to start with a question tonight because there's a couple of ways you can go with this thing. Tonight is guilty pleasure movies. So there's a couple of ways you can go with that because as we were jibber-jabbing on our chat, our messenger chat, somebody mentioned Sound of Music. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Are guilty pleasure movies that are actually good? But people are like, you like that movie? So like, I love to sit down. I like to relax and watch something fun, and a good romp is Sound of Music. Or is it crap movies that we're going, yeah, I like that one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
It's both myself. I mean, a guilty pleasure is just one that maybe not atypically I like to watch. Or
you're welcome.
Sound of Music can fit in that, I think.
Yeah. Do you have a guilty pleasure movie real quick before we get ourselves started? You can hi, you're there. Although your shirt is adorable.
It's appropriate, right?
It is appropriate for GoGameGo. Do you have a guilty pleasure movie that it's like a movie, but you're like, I just love it because it's so Grease 2?
It's so bad, it's great.
Ooh,
it better mean something to you because it stinks.
No, a guilty pleasure.
So, because you don't really like Grease 2.
No, I like that one song.
The one that doesn't make sense.
The one that tortures you.
Cool Rider. I'm like, where do they decide to put a Pat Benatar song in the middle of this early 60s movie? So silly.
And that's supposed to be the next year, isn't it?
Pick a one, yell it down.
Well, I mean, Princess Bride, but that's
not a guilty
that's
pleasure.
not what you're going
That's a
for.
beautiful film.
I'll be back with my answer.
I'll be back. It's going to be like a Perry sighting. We're going to be, when's it going to happen? So look, Pete, I got a box.
Ooh.
So it is stinky stuff that we just love. Okay.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Oh, I can't really show this on the show because one of them is a gift. And then the other one, I'll show it more tomorrow, but it's a Rock Blast live show by the Outlaws. I had to get it because I want to get an interview with the guy on the cover. That's Freddie Salem. I want to get an interview with him. So
Dorothy.
I thought I better check that out. And then the other thing is a gift. I'll show it to you guys afterward. I never know when people are going to be watching, like certain people. I mean, we have millions of people watching right now, but so anyway, I did do a little shopping at Half Price Books. Do you guys have Half Price Books at all? No. It's a really, really cool store. It's online too, so that's what the logo looks like.
Yeah.
So, but I picked up Ted 2. I picked up Ted 2 recently.
Yeah.
And then at Half Price, I picked up Ted on Blu-ray for $5.
That's all right.
I've never seen those, but from the cover, it looks like it would fit this show.
I know, but they're really good.
Are they really?
They are.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They are. They're funny. Really.
Seth MacFarlane and Mark Wahlberg, right?
Yeah.
Seth MacFarlane's freaking fantastic, other than A Million Ways to Die, and that's not even that bad.
Right. Yeah, I did watch that too, and it was okay.
It was okay.
I liked Ted a lot better. But this was there for $2. I didn't have a good copy of this. $2 on regular DVD.
Yeah.
And speaking of $2, I saw it there on Blu-ray, so I had to pick it up.
There you go. That's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
No guilty pleasure there.
So Jeff, if you don't own it, I'll drive by and pick you up one.
Awesome.
Because they had I don't know, 4 more left. They had the G.I. Joe movie too for $2. Rise of Cobra.
How do you beat that? That's like yard sale prices.
That's not dirty.
I know, $2. That's
$2, yeah.
I know, it's crazy.
I mean, the case is at least by itself.
$5. It's like I can go to Walmart and get it for $5.
I almost got Space Jam on Blu-ray today.
I always like going to our local grocery store, and they'll have a bin of it'll be like 30 copies of one movie, and it's like $30. I'm like, who's buying these things? It's always outrageously expensive.
It's those people,
DVD, not even a Blu-ray.
Yeah. It's those people that are just gonna go to the grocery store. I don't go to these other stores where they have that. I'm sure that's a good price. Throw it in the cart.
Crow was throwing out Oblivion. Have you seen that?
Oh, Oblivion, yeah. Yeah. You think that's a stinky movie? I guess. I don't know. You know, I didn't grab one. Oh, you know what? I was doing pictures. That's why. So anyway, how do we want to get started? Who wants to start? Or do we want to go around? And how many did you end up with, Jeff? You've only seen 6 movies in your life. So how many of those did you pick?
I don't know, maybe 4.
4? Damn. I like how it rises from below, Pete.
Yeah.
The rise of Stinkwalker.
Now, if I figure out a way to get this one to come down from the top.
I was going to say it should do the other way. It should be the decline of Skywalker is really what it's about.
The downfall.
I watched it a couple weeks ago again, and it gets better every time I watch it. So
soon it'll be.
And it just keeps getting better. Oh,
just keeps getting better and better. There's always something there that I missed, you know.
What? Like the plot?
Yeah.
I missed the plot last time.
Gradually putting it all together over multiple viewings.
It's like a puzzle of poop.
Oh yeah.
So it's a piece of poop. Is this the top of the poop or the bottom of the poop?
Who the hell's that character again? It's like, okay.
Wait, did they even matter? They didn't even matter. They're wasting my time with characters that don't matter.
It's just something with a 9-part movie, a 9-part series with like 2 offshoots, and you're still introducing characters in film 11. It's like there's something about that, you know. It's like it's called, oh, we have to sell action figures. Unfortunately, that's exactly what it is, right?
It is.
I love the movie. Don't get me wrong. I still will always love the movie just for what it was. But that type of stuff is sort of like there's no shame. I mean, they just there's no shame. They will do whatever they can to market and sell stuff, right? And that's how they do it. So we need new characters in this movie. It's like, oh, still trying to make up for Jar Jar Binks.
It's the ever expanding universe, right?
Yeah.
There's no making up for me. No making up for me.
Can you imagine the conversations around the boardroom in 1998, early 1999, going, we got this character that's going to sell millions of dollars worth of toys, and he's called Jar Jar Binks. I'll guarantee you those conversations took place. The kids are going to love them.
Do you think people are scared people are just scared to say no to George Lucas, and they're like, "Oh, good one, boss."
Well,
Yeah.
It's his stuff. Yeah, I mean,
why? How could they? They could never say bad. You know, they're just yes men, right? Movie people are just yes men. So, anyway, at that level,
I have one on my list here that is actually a Christmas movie, and I was wondering if you guys had any Christmas movies.
Christmas movies.
Well, I thought about it, but you know, any of the Christmas movies that I truly love aren't bad. So I don't think they are.
One I watch every year, and it's not a good movie, but I watch it every year. I don't know why, but I like it. Is Jingle All the Way.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's a good movie.
Yeah.
See, I think it's kind of bad. I think there's parts of it that are really bad.
Jingle.
But it's, I don't know, there's something just funny about it.
Wait, Jeff, that's my line. You're the one that likes it, remember?
I mean, it's got Phil Hartman, so.
Exactly.
Right there, that saves it.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of silliness. Like towards the end when he's flying around like an idiot and not killing himself. Like, this is ridiculous.
No, I get that. I wouldn't
doubt people have a few Christmas movies on their list because I don't know. Christmas movies are a little bit different. They're a little more like you're just at home watching it, and you're not looking for a masterpiece.
One of the newest ones, like one of my favorite Christmas movies, is Scrooge. So I mean, that with Albert Finney, I love that movie. It's great, but I think it's good. It's got good music in it. I don't think of it as, oh God, nobody else likes this piece of crap, you know. But one movie that Logan did chime in after I purchased it for like $5. It was like $5 on Amazon because I watched it, and it's newer. It's Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah.
Have you guys?
I did. I watched that just this year for the first time, and I kind of liked it. It's not a good movie.
It's not a great movie. The whole, but I thought it was entertaining, and I'm like, $5? What the heck? Unlike Rise of Skywalker, which I've never seen, won't ever see, and don't care if they pay me $5, I won't take it. But it's not a Christmas movie. It's the coal in your Christmas stocking, is what it is. So, I'm a dick. So now I really have to kind of think about it. One of mine, oddly enough, Jeff, one of mine that was on the list is again, won't ever see it, so technically it doesn't fit. Is
the gift that keeps on giving.
I'll tell you what.
I just wait for you to look away.
Like after you eat Taco Bell, it just keeps on giving.
And going.
That's the rise. That's the decline of Skywalker.
The runs of Skywalker.
Or do you pronounce it the runes? like in Rocky Horror Picture Show. Is this one?
There you go.
Speaking of Schwarzenegger. I like that movie. I was up in the air about it. It was $5. I'm like, do I even do the $5 for it? But it's got a freaking awesome soundtrack. It's got Tesla. It's got Queensryche. It's got AC/DC. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? What about you, Lance?
Well, let's see. I have 4 movies, but I did 3 bonus movies, so I don't
Oh.
quite know movies that the 4 are ones that I'll watch anytime. The 3 don't come on that often, but I will sit down and watch it. So just pick one and go for it, or
Yeah,
you
go
guys-
for it. If you hey, listen, if you've got one that you're like that's how I am. I got my number one that everybody's gonna go, holy shit. Are you
Holy shit.
serious? You know, so I'm leaving that one to the end.
All right. Well, so I'll pick one. One of the bonus ones. See if I can get it on camera here. Student Bodies, the world's first comedy horror movie.
Yeah.
From 1981. It
Beautiful.
ranks 25% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, hey, that's a great bit there, buddy.
It stars hardly anybody, but Kirsten Ryder is the main actress, and it introduces Richard Brando as the breather, as the killer. This movie does not take itself serious at all. In fact, it starts off, well, the plot is you've got a killer with that heavy, he breathes heavy throughout the movie, and he's killing high school students and their teachers.
Does he have asthma?
No, he even talks to a rubber chicken to disguise his voice. I mean, it's goofy. The tagline of the movie is 13 and a half murders plus 1,423 laughs equals Student Body. When the movie starts, credits go up. It says this: this motion picture is based on an actual incident. Last year, 26 horror films were released, and none of them lost money. I mean, that's how it starts. One of the craziest things in this movie is halfway there's a break in the movie where an executive producer comes up. He's behind the desk, and he kind of breaks the fourth wall as he's talking directly to the audience. And I got to write this. I wrote this down. He goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, in order to achieve an R rating today, a motion picture must contain full frontal nudity, graphic violence, or an explicit reference to the sex act. Since this film has none of those, and since research has proven that R-rated films are by far the most popular with the moving public, the producers of this motion picture have asked me to say, fuck you." And that's how the movie got the R rating.
Oh, that's fine.
That's what the F you. That's how I got the R rating.
Oh,
I remember that movie, the ads and stuff for it back when I was a kid, thinking, I got to see that. And, of course, I wasn't going to get to see it. I was like 11. So,
Yeah, you don't see it. And I saw it as a kid. We had on TV, which is like HBO, but back in the days when you had a pay subscription with the box. And I must have been 7 or 8. I mean, you had a dog walking around meowing like a cat and farting. And then later in the movie, the lead actress is hiding, trying to get away from the cops, and she's hiding on top of a gurney with a body, and the body starts farting. So as a 7-year-old, that was great.
so it's almost as if in the Star Wars realm they said, "Look, let's make this last movie like Student Body. If you can just wrap Student Body around a Star Wars film." Student
like
Body.
Saturday the 14th.
What's the tagline at the top say?
At last, the world's first comedy horror movie.
Film.
I mean, this is 81, so this is way before the Screams
Right.
and all the other type movies.
Scary Movie and all that.
Yeah. It's so bad, it's
Wow. Wow. Yeah, see there's both sides of it right there. Retro gaming has both sides right there. Princess Bride, brilliant film.
Yeah.
And, but at the same time, somebody may think, "Oh, you really like that film?" You're like, "You know what? Back it down."
Yeah.
But on the other hand, Bloodsport, that's one that you may go, "Yeah, not an Academy Award winner, but
Well, that's Jean-Claude Van Damme, Bloodsport.
Mhm.
Well, that's almost
Yeah,
his whole filmography.
That's like his, yeah. I did like Time Cop.
Time Cop and
Yeah.
Universal Soldier, I think, are some of his better
Yeah.
ones. But yeah.
But yeah, Bloodsport started. In fact, I've got something over here that I just got recently that's in that same vein. Okay, Pete.
Well, you know me, I always overdo it. Well, not quite as much as Stu does, but I always overdo it. So I take it like this. These are movies that you're going to say, oh, I like this movie. I watch it whenever I see it on. And the person's either going to look at you like they're ashamed of you, or they're going to look at you and go, what the hell are you talking about? I've never heard of it, right? Like just guilty pleasures, meaning this first one is actually kind of, I won't call it famous. I'll call it infamous. And that is Freaks by Todd Browning. Have you ever heard of that one?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Hard to see. The truth. But things like that I find to be very interesting watches.
It's a really old movie, right, Pete?
That's in the 30s, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a documentary?
It is not. It's like a horror movie of circus sideshow freaks and a couples taking advantage of them to a degree and their revenge. One of us, one of us, one of us.
Oh, I remember that.
Everybody's heard that quote, but nobody knows where it comes from. It comes from Freaks.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I'll go a couple just to bite into a little bit, but this is another one that people just sort of go shake your head and go, oh my God, I can't believe you would like that movie. But I love the movie. I think it's friggin' hilarious. Ready to Rumble. Have you ever heard of that one? That was a movie.
From the dark days of WCW.
You got it. WCW put this out. It stars all their wrestlers. And of course,
you've already chased Jeff off.
David Arquette. Oh, he loves that. No, he might not have seen it, but he'd love that movie. He likes wrestling. And David Arquette, because of this movie, ended up becoming the WCW World Heavyweight Champion, which was major friggin' faux pas and led partially was one of the things that showed that WCW was going down the long path to nowhere.
Yeah. Vince Russo strikes again.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do one more comedy before I got a couple more, but here's one that is along the lines you talked earlier about the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yes,
is one that I really, really like. I don't have a copy of it, but here's what I do. It's the burnt copy, but have you ever heard of that one? The Underground Comedy Movie. Anytime you have the picture is the cover is two chicks on the shitter, it's it's going to be somewhat of a guilty.
That's got to be a blockbuster.
But it's along the same line. It's one of these real cheap budget. They found old clips of famous people and put them in this movie, and it's just friggin' horrible. But it's one of these things you just can't stop watching once it's on. So,
speaking of taking movies, like taking clips, did you ever see the Three Stooges movie? That I think it was maybe done in the 80s, where it was a guy who was obsessed with the Stooges, and they like took clips from Stooges' shorts, and they put it in the movie. And I can't think of the name of it at all. It was really bizarre.
I don't remember that.
Was it Stooges Briefs?
It was funny because they took the clips from all the public domain Stooges.
It's kind of a joke there.
And it was from the 80s? No.
I made a joke.
Okay.
I kind of made a joke.
I knew Crow would know. I knew Crow would have heard about it.
There you go.
Because Jeff said they took parts of the Stooges shorts, so it'd be Stooges Briefs. That's kind of a joke. See, that's a joke that's a joke you can like, but don't tell anybody you like it.
You really stretched for that one. It must have been a lot.
Like a waistband. It's like a new pair of underwear. At first, it's constricting.
Hey, one more quarter, sir. I watched your video on Yoshihime-sama. One more quarter.
Oh, Jeff's getting sexy there. Did you hear that?
Know.
Jeez. I thought he was coming on to you, Lance. Hey, Mushi.
Crow, it lives up to that look, too. Let me tell you that. It's bad.
Man.
Yeah, Mushi.
Oh, man.
Oh, here you go. One more quarter. UHF.
Crow's on the case. Nice.
Oh, there you go. Those are. Look at that. One more quarter.
I just watched that one because Pete mentioned it. Was it 3-4 weeks ago? I love the movie.
As one of my favorite movies of all time. So to me, it's not a guilty pleasure because I will proudly walk up to say to somebody and say, "You should watch UHF with Weird Al Yankovic."
It's a good film. Good film. Little Monsters.
it does actually fit into guilty pleasures to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, George. See? Just don't tell your friends you think it's funny. Nice mushy.
Like UHF, it's kind of like
Nice
some Adam
mushy.
Sandler movies, like the old ones. They're no masterpieces, but there's a lot of them that are pretty darn funny, or even stuff like Tommy Boy, which I love.
Stooge Mania. I was going to say that.
Is that it? Stooge Mania. Wow.
Yeah.
I was going to say Stooge Mania.
That's cool.
And
Stooge
and
Mania. Wow.
I don't even think it's available anywhere to watch either.
Stooge Mania?
Yeah, I
Really?
think maybe it came out on VHS a long time ago, and I don't think they've ever put it on DVD, or I
that's
don't even
got-
think it's streaming.
There's got to be a bootleg somewhere.
Oh, yeah, totally. Is that right around the same time as
Wow.
is that around the same time as like when the Curly Shuffle was a hit?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think it was a little bit after that. This is 85. No.
Because Curly Shuffle was right in the 80s there. You can get a VHS tape for $11.
$11, really?
Yeah, you can get one for $4.
Really? I thought I looked, I couldn't even find any.
Under $10 for good copies on video, on VHS. Then there's a very good one for $40. $44.
So it's from 86. From 1986. Sid Caesar's in it.
Oh, that's right. He is in
I
it.
don't know. Josh Mostel, he's the main guy. Armin Shimmerman, who played Quark on Deep Space Nine.
Oh, yeah.
The guy who played Uncle Phil in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's in it. James Avery.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Pretty interesting.
One more quarter. Now you get to drink from the fire hose.
Oh, shoot. All right. So, Jeff, what's another one of yours?
I just watched this not too long ago. Well, maybe like a year ago. But I actually liked it, even though it's it's not all that great. But Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, I
seen
still have
bits of
never
that.
seen that. I've still never seen
Something
it.
about it I liked. I don't know. It was really goofy.
Hmm.
I did like the artwork of the clowns and stuff. I thought it was really good.
Sounds like drinking your juice in the hood.
By the way, Killer Clowns, when I watched it, it was free on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
YouTube has several free movies, by the way. I don't know if anyone's ever really paid attention, but
Well, they do change them, so you have to be careful.
Yeah.
Like I started watching while I was working one day. I started watching War Games, and now you have to buy it or rent it. So I was watching it free one day, and I own it, so it's not a big deal. Almost bought it on Blu-ray the other day, but it's one of those movies you're like, you don't really have to have that on Blu-ray.
well, here you go, sir. I'm looking right now. Killer Clowns from Outer Space on YouTube. Buy or rent. It was a freebie about a year ago or so. Isn't that weird? They put them on for free and then they charge later.
Yeah, I guess what they do is they find out if how popular it is. If people are watching it, then they're like, Steve, you better put that one as a charge. Lots of people want to see that. So
That's how they suck you in, right? The first hit was free. Now they got you.
And they got you.
they used to hand out crack at their grade school too. Whoever made that decision.
Whoops.
I didn't find the marble in the oatmeal.
That's how he got the drink from the fire hose. He found the
Oh.
marble in the oatmeal.
Oatmeal. That makes complete sense.
Absolutely. Come on.
So okay, I got like two to kind of together because I haven't watched this film. One came before the other. So I'm eager to check it out. Good
Yeah.
Guys Wear Black
Yep.
But the other one that I got is the Octagon,
Octagon.
which really, it's the one I'm talking about because it's one of those that I watched it when it was on cable when I was a kid. I'm like, Chuck Norris kicks ass. And then I rewatched that, and there's so many scenes in the movie where he's like talking to himself and he's whispering with an echo. You're like, okay, who decided that was a good move? Like it was going to hold people. Okay, let's do a whisper like you're talking to yourself. But better yet, let's echo. I'm like,
It's better than
so-
tossing into a rubber chicken.
Who knows, Jeff? It could have made the Octagon better.
Everyone else has like a voice changer, and this guy's got a rubber chicken.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he does. He does several times. He goes, click. He goes, you hang up? He goes, no, I just said click. And that's the running gag in the movie. It's bad.
That is a pinnacle of wit.
Lance, what do you have next?
Next, okay, a little more commercial. I couldn't find my DVD, but I do have my VHS from 85, Brewster's Millions. Richard Pryor,
Ah,
not
Yep.
one of his well-known movies, but it was 35% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. A minor league baseball player played by Pryor stands to inherit $300 million if he million in 30 days and not own any assets. And just the thought of, well, how would you do that if that came to you? How would you go about spending that money? And it's Richard Pryor, John Candy, with guest appearances by Rick Moranis and Yakov Smirnoff. The movie was directed by Walter Hill, who had previously done The Warriors, The Long
Shut
Rider,
Up.
and 48 Hours. And he
Shut
started
up.
out as a script writer. He wrote The Getaway with Steve McQueen and the original Alien. So Walter Hill did
up.
Brewster's Millions.
Well, I just watched The Warriors over the weekend.
Yeah,
That's a Walter Hill flick.
it's a Walter Hill flick. Yes.
That's trippy. And I forgot that he did 48 Hours, which is the reason why two of those people are over in 48 Hours from. Wow. Why didn't Michael Beck make it into 48 Hours? That's what I want to know. Oh, that's right. He was busy making crap films like Megaforce. Oops. Sorry. I smell something still coming.
Oh, there's a heap coming. You know it.
there's a good poop on the rise.
wasn't it a Creedence Clearwater Revival song?
Yes, it was. There's a good poop on the rise. Yeah. No, there's a bathroom on the right.
Yeah. So you mentioned Yakov Smirnoff. If anyone's still interested in seeing him, he's right here in Missouri. He's down
Really?
there.
Really?
Yeah, he's in Branson.
That's right. Oh,
I
that
went to
reminds me.
visit my friend, the farmer, and he played a practical joke on me. He had me milk his bull. But let me tell you this. You milk that animal once, you have a friend for life.
10 to 1, he just told that story the other day.
Probably. And that's from 1984.
Hmm.
Shoot. I'm still trying
All
to figure out.
We
All
ready
right,
for
Pete.
another one? For another series?
I don't know.
Come on.
Let me get my mask on. I won't be able to smell it. Go ahead. No, going into the show and knowing you were going to be here, I'm like, I wonder how many of these films I will know that Pete's going to put up.
Probably most of them, I would say.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Anyway, and I know this was on somebody else's list who couldn't be here tonight, but one of the movies that I really have always liked, and I've watched it several times. I actually showed a picture of PJ Souls' autograph in one of them. Is that Rock and Roll High School, which JD put on his list of movies. And one of the things about that is it's made by Paul Bartel and Mary Warnoff, who were couples, and were known for making like B movies. And a couple of the other ones, not only Rock and Roll High School, which is a little bit more mainstream, but they also made one called Eating Raoul. And I don't know if you remember this or not.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah, I've
Only
never
got,
seen it.
Only got it. You have or haven't? Did you say you have seen it?
I have not, but I know of the movie. Yeah.
I can remember this being way back when I was in high school. Siskel and Ebert were still going strong on PBS, and they raved about how funny this movie was for such a, those two just made cheap B movies, right? And what many people, if they don't know Eating Raoul, this is another movie this is a true guilty pleasure because I do love watching it every once in a while. This is just a cheesy copy of it, but it's Death Race 2000.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Was it David Carradine or David Carradine, right?
David Carradine, yeah.
David Carradine, yeah. And of course, it's all piped up over Sly because it was his first movie that wasn't Miss Kitty and the Stud or something like that, right? So, but this was also Paul Bartel and Mary Warrenoff who were in the movie. And,
You mean back in the days where he's like, the stallion, it's in my pants.
That's right, yeah.
Anyone else find it odd that the movie's called Death Race 2000 and he's got a smile on his face?
I know. What is the deal with that?
The photo is so goofy.
That looks no more like him from the movie. Like, I don't think that's a picture from the movie. It's just a picture that Sylvester Stallone is stuck it on this case. But I bought this on eBay years ago. And, I mean, it's obviously somebody's making them in their basement. So, whatever. It worked. It worked. And it's all on streaming now. This is long before streaming ever existed when I bought that. So, but the thing about that, those are also involved with Roger Corman. And you know Roger Corman is obviously, right? And I love a lot of old Roger Corman movies. There's too many to name. But he was involved in so many movies. I'm just going to show one more in this little wave. And that's one we've talked about many times. It's a guilty pleasure of mine is Battle Beyond the Stars. I love watching this movie.
Right? I thought about that one.
Yeah, I really do love it. And a lot of people, you talk to them, or say, hey, did you ever see Battle Beyond the Stars? And they didn't see Battle Beyond the Stars. Nobody's ever heard of this movie. I only know it because we found it on HBO about the same time you're talking, Lance, back in the early 80s, like 80, 81, over at my sister's. My brother-in-law actually was the cable guy in that town. So we had he had HBO and all the friggin' bells and whistles. And so we used to watch movies all the time. And I remember us finding this one and how much we really enjoyed it. But this is a Roger Corman movie as well. Again, Death Race 2000 or Eating Raoul, whoever. Roger Corman's involved with all of them as well as Paul Bartel and Mary Warrenoff. So,
once Sybil Danning,
Roger Corman movies.
Once Sybil Danning hit the screen, I was like, yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
there's music? What?
There's boobs on a spaceship? What?
The Valkyrie.
Yeah, I've been really close to buying that movie a couple of times because George Papard's in it, and all they actually made a movie. I guess I could have pulled that one out too. Now I got to remember what the heck the name of it is. It was an animated show. It was very much in the same vein as that movie. Had a smart alecky cigar smoking pilot who was I can't think of the name of that.
What are you talking? Anyway. Is it Star Crash or
no? Star Chaser.
Star Chaser.
It's the character's name. The Star Chaser. It's a kid. It's a young kid. He's in a mining community. His girlfriend. They're being oppressed and down under the ground. They're making them mine, and they're forced to mine by a bunch of robots. And the leader is full of crap, and he's just kind of he's bluffing everybody. He's got this big fire, but it's just a hologram, so people won't escape because they think they're going to get burned up. But it's just a hologram. So,
I don't know that one.
Anyway, I was just watching it the other day.
This one was made, and then afterwards they made that one, Space Raiders or Star Crash. It was called, two different titles, and the friggin' music was the same, and the friggin' spaceships were the same. They just regurgitated the clips over again, recycled the whole thing into a different movie.
Let me ask you while we're on that, did anybody see Krull?
No.
Years ago.
Okay,
I haven't.
You did?
Right there. I just got it not long ago within the last 6 months. I have not watched it again, though.
I just saw it for $5 on Blu-ray today, and I almost bought it. but I'm like, just don't know. I have it on loan from the library with Ice Pirates. They put those two together.
Pirates. Yeah.
So I'm gonna watch those. But if I like Crawl, I'll go back to Menards and pick it up on Blu-ray. But I'm like, I just don't know. I don't know.
It's $5, so I've got mine for 50 cents at a yard sale in May.
Oh, on Blu-ray?
No, just DVD, but
yeah,
it's a 1982 B-rated space movie made on like a $412 budget. So I really didn't care if it was DVD or Blu-ray. I didn't think it was going to lose any of its luster.
It's not all about the luster though. Sometimes it's about what extras you're going to get.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
I sometimes that's what I have to think about. I'm like, well, okay, like War Games.
Yeah.
Did they put something different on the Blu-ray that came out, years after the DVD? But I don't know. Yeah. I love that Crow's got Ice Pirates on his list.
Nice.
Cool.
So I'll be watching those soon. We're almost done with summer school and stuff. So I'll have my moment in the morning. So Jeff, what do you have next?
Pete, I just wrote this down. You were mentioning you ordered a movie and someone just like made it in their house and sent it out to you. Yeah. Well, I ordered a movie years and years ago, and it came in, and basically that's what it is. It said it was, I can't remember what it was, probably some phony company name that was out of Jamestown, Missouri, which I've never even heard of. But it's the actual movie, not the not the Mystery Science Theater version, but Manos Hands of Fate.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's actually the movie without any of that stuff. And my God, that's such a weird film because if I remember right, I think the guy who was filming, his camera could only record like 16 seconds at a time. So the whole movie is just all chopped up.
It's like a monkey's show.
I know.
I've got the DVD of the Mystery Science Theater version.
That's like you say that. It's like that's true. I've only ever seen like even wherever I watched it just recently on one of these streaming things, Tubi or something, and it's the Mystery Science Theater version. Mm-hmm. I've never seen the real version.
Which is weird because the real version is in the public domain, I believe. Wow. I don't think anyone owns it. I don't think they ever copyrighted it.
Seriously, if you owned it, would you admit it?
The standalone version, not the Mystery Science version. Right on, Crow.
Well,
yeah, I think the guy
slinging shit. Yeah, Crow.
There's a lot going around in that movie.
If I remember right, this guy thought he could make a decent enough movie himself, so he brought it on himself to try to make one. And
oh wow,
God, it's bad. That truly is a bad movie. But yeah, it's really hard to find that movie by itself without Mr. Science Theater. I don't even know. I hope I find it. So I'm not sure where it is right now. I would hate to have lost that movie.
Yeah, because you have the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah. The T-shirt design on ours.
Yeah, the one. It's really cool. Right. It's from their movie poster. It's Manos Hands of Fate, and I think there's two hands going around like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was a great design. I don't know who in the world designed that poster for this guy, but
it was a hell of a lot better than the movie.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing about that movie. Yeah. What a cool poster. I love promoting the movie because it looks terrific.
Mm-hmm.
I don't every time that guy.
No, I have the DVD. It just has the regular. It has the mystery movie. Regular. It doesn't have the regular version of it.
What's the great line from that movie? The master would not approve. The master would not approve. The guy who played the caretaker. I remember reading this, and he was really proud of himself because he did the costume himself. He was really proud of it, and they did the opening opening night and everybody was just laughing, having a great time. They thought it was hilarious, and he really felt terrible because he thought that he did a great job in this great horror film. And I think Crow probably knows this. I think the guy ended up years later killing himself, which is horrible, for a number of reasons. But can you imagine what a popular guy he would be at movie conventions now? Yeah,
there you go.
But people would love to see this guy show up. It's too bad he did that. 'Cause he'd be like a little convention star going from one to another.
Yeah. Well, that's like the mother in Schitt's Creek, where she went and did the movie. What did she do? The Crows, or the did you guys watch Schitt's Creek?
Catherine O'Hara is the mother, right?
Yeah.
Canadian show, man. Of course.
Yeah. And she did a movie, and it's great show anyway.
In the show, she does a movie.
Yeah, and she's thinking that she does this great job, and the movie is just, I mean, it's one of those horrible things. It's a horrible horror movie, but somehow it picks up speed, and it's a cult classic.
Wow.
I have two movies that go together, and Jeff, I know you haven't watched it, but I'm really eager for you to watch FM.
Oh yeah.
But I loaded in a bunch of photos now, so I'm just going to do it this way. So they're both Dan Curtis projects, but this one is still a favorite of mine. It's not a great movie, but you can see it's from Dan Curtis of The Night Stalker.
Is that Angie Dickinson?
Yes. Yep. Angie Dickinson is the wife of that zombie dude up in the corner.
Zombie dude's doing all right.
Yeah, this movie and this movie scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. That was Dan Curtis's job when I was a kid, was to scare the crap out of me. And this is the reason why I still watch these today. Are they good? Would somebody who likes horror films go, "Oh, those are brilliantly made films"? They are well-made films. I thought the tensions and the things that happened in them were really cool.
So was The Night Strangler the sequel to The Night Stalker?
Yeah, The Night Strangler dealt with a character that was, of course, they're not immortal. They were to an extent, but if you shut that down, then they're no longer immortal. So anyway, but it had the guy who played in $6 Million Man.
Lee Majors?
No, the other who played his boss.
Richard Anderson? Richard Henderson?
Richard Anderson.
Richard Anderson.
Yep. Yeah. So he was in it. I don't know why when I get on shows, my brain just goes. I hate that.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I can't, I can't think of his boss's name. I'm like, what is going on right now?
I can sit back and work like this and I can come up with those, but if I was sitting there trying to tell somebody who it was, I'd never come up with a name.
Yeah. And what the heck's his name? It starts with an O.
Oscar Goldman.
Oscar Goldman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's gold in there. It's O. I don't know. If you'd have just been talking to me off camera, I'd have been like, yeah, Oscar Goldman.
That's called a bad case of the 50s.
No, it's just too much poop in my head.
CRS is starting. That's how it
Part
starts.
and parcel. That's what it is.
So anyway, what do you got, Lance? What's next?
All right. My next movie with a whopping 14% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
wow.
From 1980, Hollywood Nights.
Oh,
Really?
My
Really?
version, I bought it from Blockbuster. It stars Robert Wool, Tony Danza, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Fran Drescher. It was the first major movie for all four of them. Pranks galore. It's been called an American Graffiti ripoff. Halloween night, 1965. The Hollywood Nights Car Club celebrates the last night of their hangout, Tubby's Drive-In.
Yeah.
14%. The Tubby's Drive-In was actually an A&W root beer location that had closed down. When the movie came out, a lot of people tried to buy it and revive it, and it didn't happen. So it was just part of LA build up.
It's part of that 18% Rotten Tomato rate.
Yeah.
That's what that is. I
Check
can't
this out.
believe it got that bad of a rating.
14%.
I like that movie.
I
like
like it.
A.W. Rooker.
Yeah, and one of the first. There you go. One of the first advertising slogans for the movie was the first movie to moon a man on the land.
And don't forget, it starred that old man who goes, his dick, his dick is in the punch.
In the punch, yes. The director, a guy by the name of Floyd Buttrick, that same year he was considered to direct the movie Urban Cowboy with John Travolta. He wanted Michelle Pfeiffer to cast her in the Deborah Winger role. Of course, none of that ever happened. And it's got a great soundtrack from the Drifters, Wilson Pickett, Ray Charles, Four Seasons, Bob Dylan, the Beach Boys, the Supremes, and more. And if you know this movie, there's a song called Volare.
Yeah.
That is famous by Dean Martin.
Volare.
Newbomb Turk, the leader of the Hollywood Nights Club, performs a version in front of a high school, like an auditorium, and he farts the song.
Yes, he does. That's right.
So 14% Hollywood Nights.
and Stuart Pankow gets flashed in the parking lot.
Yes.
But not necessarily by the woman that you would rather have flashed him.
Yeah.
There's two of them there, and you're like, oh, she didn't do it.
Yeah, the other one, yeah.
She was cute too. I mean, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you're like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what's more interesting, that I'm perverted enough to know that. Wow.
So underrated classic from that era.
Oh, I can't believe you had that on there. I totally forgot. I can't believe it got 18%. I like that. I watched that movie a lot when it was on
18. It was 14%.
Oh, it was 14. Jeez, I was giving it 4 more points. See, that's how bad I feel about it. What I really feel badly about is that the Octagon actually got 33%. So
I just looked up Killer Clowns. That's got like 76%.
Oh yeah, that's a classic, right?
75%.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but I wouldn't consider it a good movie.
But I wouldn't consider it a good movie.
I guess the
All right,
state of the night seems to be farts.
Oh man. All right,
Thank
Pete,
you, sir.
what do you got?
This one's not really, certainly not low budget, certainly not even low rated, but it's one that if a person is really familiar with it, goes, I can't believe you like that movie. I don't know what it says about you. And that is, I really enjoy Oliver Stone's Natural Born Killers.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to remove you from the show. I don't know who you are right now. I don't know why. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
But it is. It's a very controversial movie and very.
Yeah.
It's. I can still remember the first 3 times I watched it. It made you very uncomfortable trying to watch it, but it was it's like the epitome of a car wreck and not being able to look away. So I don't know. So I kind of call that a guilty pleasure because, I've got multiple copies. In some degree. Oh my God! Look at the book in this thing. It's some.
With all the killing pictures in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Pete walks off. He's like, "I'll be right back."
It's really kind of bizarre, but it's a guilty pleasure. It's not one that you go around saying it's your favorite movie all the time. That's my favorite movie, Natural Born Killers. So they go all of a sudden as you're walking down the street, telling the person that, they take the step further away from you as you're going down. But it's almost the same way because my favorite movie is A Clockwork Orange, which is basically the same type of controversial movie from 25, 30 years earlier.
Yeah.
I like unrealistic, and I will call it unrealistic, sort of futuristic, psychological stories such as that. People at extremes.
Yeah. As long as you don't end up pulling up The Last House on the Left, I'm okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I think I told you guys about that, right?
I think you did. It's a hard watch. I have tried to watch.
I didn't even finish. I never saw it when I was a kid, so because
No.
I couldn't see it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then I found it at the library, and I just started watching it, and I'm like, I fast forwarded through. I'm like, is this get any better? Oh my god, it just gets okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
Took it out.
It's like,
Took it
there's
back.
also movies like the original "I Spit on Your Grave" and stuff
I have
like
never
that.
seen that.
That are I like watching old horror movies. Like I'll go right along with this. I'm gonna throw it out there because it's actually on my list. Is Cannibal Holocaust, which we've talked about before. I don't know why I like to watch it. It's not. It's just the interest of it, almost the story behind it, and how they could actually make these things. And the stories behind it. That's almost a mesmerizing movie. I love you, Mickey. Love you too, Mallory. Exactly. Yeah, that's fantastic. So movies like that, movies like Natural Born Killers, A Clockwork Orange. What was the one I just said here? Oh my God, just left my mind. I just said it.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Cannibal Holocaust.
Cannibal Holocaust,
Ferox. These are very difficult movies to watch, but I find that very interesting in our own filmmaking. And I'm going to throw this in there right now just because it fits in with them too. This is similar in a way. Have you heard me talk about Hobo with a Shotgun? Jason Eisner movie. I know you guys have heard me. Stu, maybe not.
Yes. Oh yeah, Rutger Hauer. Sure. Yeah.
Yes, Rutger Hauer. That's made by the guy from Dartmouth, Nova Scotia, who currently is doing Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay.
Very, very good director, and of course, the story behind that is it came from a trailer for Quentin Tarantino and was it Richard Rodriguez when they were doing the Death Proof and the Grindhouse films, and they had a contest. They didn't make a trailer. This guy made a 2-minute trailer. Hobo with a Shotgun ended up getting a full-fledged motion picture out of it. But
Wow.
it's a hard watch. It's a hard watch. It's pretty gory. So
Yeah, I don't mind that. It's just exploitation films I can't take.
well,
I like RoboCop.
but it's not the
gets
same.
gory.
Not the same sensation or tension in RoboCop. Yes, it could be tense, but it's RoboCop.
I mean, when they sat there and
gory.
shot him up in the beginning of the film, that's gory.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
You
it's
know?
not the same type of macabre like Last House on the Left or Cannibal
And that
Holocaust. It's just like it's okay. That's straight. And Hobo with the Shotgun has that extra sense of ew in it, and
Okay.
so that's a true guilty pleasure. If you enjoy watching movies like, listen, it's not a movie I sit down. Oh, let's watch Hobo with the Shotgun today. No,
Right.
if I want to watch a movie to enjoy something, I put on the Blues Brothers.
Yeah,
Right.
but I mean, if you're just hanging out and you're just like, oh, I want to throw something on while I'm doing this,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
Reservoir
there you go.
Dogs.
So it is very the
Yeah.
same. Reservoir Dogs was a hard thing to
Yeah.
watch. And Oh,
Yeah,
she
but I
nailed it
think-
right on that.
I think Pulp Fiction was even harder, especially with the pawn shop scene. You know, and that was one of those things where they got a hold of Doug Feiger to use My Sharona during that scene.
All right.
And at the same time, they had Mystic Pizza, and he's like, "Well, what? Guy doing another dude down in a basement of a pawn shop, or a bunch of kids having fun eating pizza? Yeah, we'll go that way."
Mama C and I and 64-bit, we sat down. Of course, him being into the movies as he is, and after finished degree, when he was home over COVID for a brief period, we watched a lot of different movies. He introduced us to a lot of movies which we'd heard of, but never taken the time to sit down and watch it. One of them that we did sit down and watch, just because he likes those type of movies, it was Reservoir Dogs. I had tried, like her. We've started a few times, and we made it through the whole thing. It really is. Once you've sat there, it's kind of mesmerizing. It's a pretty good movie.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't not watch it because I do like Rutger Hauer a lot.
Yeah.
So
the Hobo with the Shotgun. Yeah,
I'd watch that.
Yeah, well, it's worth watching. It's worth watching.
Yeah.
It's a low budget, schlock fest, right off the friggin' wall. Let me tell you that.
Yeah. I'd even like to see. Part of me would like to see the latter half of "I Spit on Your Grave." That I'd have to miss
know
the
what you
first
mean.
part.
The revenge
I'd
part.
have to. Yeah, because I can't do that. That's why I can't even watch. Christine will watch *Handmaid's Tale*. I can't even watch that.
That movie came out when I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, and at the point where I was starting to enjoy movies. And I remember course, I used to be so crazy into it. I wish I could find them again someday. They were packed away somewhere that I forgot. But I used to cut the movie posters out of the Saturday paper, the advertisement, and stick them in a book for Pete's sake. That was just weird things I did. I can remember I knew all the movies out because of those more than anything. So I remember I spit in your grave thinking, oh my God, that's like kind of creepy, isn't it?
Yeah. I had a whole stack. I used to keep the HBO booklets. I had a whole stack of those.
I did that for years and years, and they got thrown out when I went to university. Where I probably had 8 years left. They always, when they would come in to my brother-in-law's place, he'd always get extra copies and keep them in mint condition for me.
Yeah.
September 1980, Superman on the cover was the first one I ever had. I'll never forget.
Oh, really?
No, I apologize. I'm wrong. October was Superman. The movie 10 was September, but it was last week of September before they come out. So
because they used to be
in little old Calais, Maine.
Yeah, they used to be like vertical like that, and then they had later they were the longer horizontal books.
Because it was only on from about like 4 o'clock in the afternoon till a little bit after midnight.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then weekends, it went 24 hours, 2 or 3 years into it. It was like, that was amazing.
I think when we first got cable, they had Cineview was the name of the movie service that was on there. And one of the first ones was Spy Who Loved Me. And I remember it was purple. It had a tint of purple across the whole picture with, Roger Moore pointing the gun.
Is that different from Cinemax?
Yes. Yeah. Because so it was Cineview, Cinevue.
Okay.
See, I can remember that, but I can't remember Oscar Goldman.
Just the way it is, man. Just the way it is.
I'm just glad I didn't say Oscar Goldwater or something like that.
And I was about to say something, and guess what? I forgot what that was. So there you go. We're all guilty of it, right?
Hey, was Reservoir Dogs? Was that the one with the guys that had different names of
color?
Yeah.
Blonde, blue.
Mr. White.
I watched it once, and I liked the movie, but I could never watch it again.
Interesting.
The scene with
Michael Madsen and the cop.
Yeah, the one with the ear. Yeah, playing that song. Every time I hear that song, that's all I can think of now.
Oh, Steelers Wheel.
Yeah. That's a rough movie to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Crow with Brandon Lee?
Yes.
Yes, I love it. I own it.
I do too. I have the VHS actually. Yeah.
I got it on Blu-ray. It was part of, I think, a 3-movie set. I think it was V for Vendetta, that, and Constantine.
Now, Crow, that was his last movie, wasn't it?
Yes.
Or where he got shot?
Yeah, he got hit with that dummy bullet.
That's Dwight Schrute's favorite movie too. It was his what do we call it? Desert Island movie? Was it?
Oh
yeah, Desert Island.
Desert Island movie, yeah.
Yeah. Where are we, Jeff? What do you have? Or right? Isn't that where we are, Jeff?
Yeah.
Pete, get me a drink.
Next time Pete gets up, he needs to spin his chair as hard as he can and see if he can get back before the chair is done spinning.
I like how he leaves it at Charlie's Angels.
Yes.
Right there.
Charlie's Angels.
You should do the whole show like that.
At Charlie's Angels, the bad guy in
just have his hand moving in the background.
Yeah.
And he could just show the movie over his shoulder on it.
Yeah. Turns around like a Bond villain. Mr. Bond?
With his cat in his lap. That would be great. Coco could be his cat.
I love this line from Pulp Fiction.
Isn't that great?
Dead, baby.
Who is Zed? Zed's dead, baby. And they take off.
I just wrote down an actor. I wrote down The Rock.
Yeah.
I think I've seen one of his movies that I thought was pretty good, and the rest I thought were pretty bad, but I actually had fun watching them all.
Okay.
He is entertaining.
I like the movies. I mean, not a masterpiece. The one I kind of liked was the one where he's in the skyscraper. Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah. He was in the one called Skyscraper right around the same time he did San Andreas as well. So it's easy to get him confused. And he did Rampage.
And
right?
Jumanji? Yeah,
he did Rampage. So here you've got buildings falling. It doesn't really matter what's going on. It's Johnson and falling buildings. There's just
didn't he do a movie like a?
Well, he did the one where he was the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, Tooth Fairy.
I don't know why, but we did a thing where it was like we went like 4 weeks in a row. We were watching the Rock movies because I was like, I've never even seen one, and I was like, well, these aren't really very good, but I'm kind of having fun watching them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and he was in G.I. Joe. Speaking of which.
Joe. Yeah, but he had the Rundown, Walking Tall.
What? Pain and Gain.
Yeah.
Didn't he have one of those like end of the world movies where it was all flooded? Was that him in that? Or
well, that's San Andreas, right? Isn't that? Or was there a different one?
San Andreas is a big earthquake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
May have been the rise of Rock Walker.
Oh.
The rise of Johnson. Oops. That's my tape.
Big Johnson.
I just think it's really crazy. I just saw, Brandon Lee's name again here, and it's just crazy that his old man went the way he did, and then he went the way he did. You're like, I mean,
tragic.
His dad, somebody nobody wanted to ever mess with, and one little thing takes him out. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Did Brandon Lee have any kids, or is the Bruce Lee line gone now?
I think that was it. I don't think he had any kids. I'll throw out a couple of them real quick here. Here's one for you. I own it, and I'm owning that I own it. I think of all of them, I think it's the most true version. I just, it was not a great movie.
You liked it better than a TV series or a Netflix series?
The Netflix series it was good. It probably was. I don't know if it was truer or. But it was good. But I mean, it was it was what it was. Okay. And then this one. Trick or Treat. It's a guilty pleasure film because it had what's the guy's name that played Skippy in Family Ties?
Skippy was in this?
Wow.
Yeah, he's the main character.
Really?
This is his rock idol is Sammy Kerr, and he's a metalhead. So he's this dorky metalhead that people don't like at school. They pick on him all the time. And then Sammy Kerr, through the last recording he ever made, comes back to life. And who's the DJ in it? Gene Simmons. Whoa. And who plays the televangelist? Ozzy Osbourne. And who did the soundtrack? Fastway. So it's a kick-ass movie for certain reasons, but is it great? No, it's not a good movie, but it's just one of those things.
How did Skippy get the lead in a movie?
Well, that was right at the time when he was really popular on Family Ties, because he came on the show and then they wrote more for him and he was in the show more. So he was very popular at the time. And then they did this movie and had him in it. Got to strike while the iron's goofy.
Well, good for him, I guess. That's
right. Yeah.
It just has something to show that everybody remembers Skippy, but nobody remembers what his name was.
I know, right?
It's like that's kind of sad when you think about.
Well, and let's see if I can figure out. Trick or treat.
Of course, that means whenever anyone sees him on the street, of course, they're also going to call him Skippy.
Skippy, yeah.
Mark Price.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I did
Okay,
know
but wait a minute. Wait a minute. Take a guess what its tomato meter is.
What, that movie?
Yeah, guess
20.
what the 20?
I'll go 20.
Okay, what do you, Pete? What do you say, Pete?
24.
Okay, what do you say, Jeff?
Price is right.
I'm going Price is Right rules here. I'm going 25.
25. Okay. Okay. Well, let me tell you, you're all wrong.
Okay.
And think it's 75%.
Wow.
Whoa. Hello.
It's a good thing I just ordered it on Blu-ray.
Just like Killer Clown, 75%.
You never know what kind of never know what kind of special features you're going to get with Trick or Treat.
Thank you.
There you go.
That's thinking. That's bringing it round. That's bringing it back round.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lance, what do you got next?
Next, okay, from 1987 with the Rotten Tomato score of 21%.
Oh,
Blind Date. Bruce Willis, Kim Basinger.
Oh, man.
A workaholic needs a date for an important business dinner, and it becomes a disaster after the date has a few drinks. Also stars John Larroquette and Phil Hartman. Directed by Blake Edwards. So if you're a fan of the Pink Panther movies, it's that same kind of slapsticky physical humor.
John Larroquette. I did see that movie.
Yeah, he plays the jealous boyfriend.
Is there like a pool scene or a balcony scene? Okay, yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, towards the end at the wedding. It's Bruce Willis's first credited film. Before that, he was known for TV, moonlighting, and a guest spot on TV's Miami Vice. And it's enjoyable for what it is. Not a great movie, but if you just want something to watch and not have to think or get stressed out, there you go.
well, and it was pretty popular at the time. I mean, you know, it was a popular movie. Of course, she was, Hey, I'm glad you brought that up because you know what I looked up the other day, and it only had 7 episodes because it's so stuck in my head. It was back in the days of Eddie Brockelman. Do you guys remember Cat and Dog?
Yeah,
Dog and Cat.
Cartoon. Cat and Dog.
Yeah.
No, not a cartoon. The cop
cartoon.
show with Kim Basinger.
No.
What? You guys don't know of it? Oh man, I was like, you guys are gonna go. Oh yeah. Remember Eddie Brockelman?
Called Moose and Elk.
Like your other show, Bull and Shit. Yeah, it's like Electric Company. Bull,
Or
shit, bullshit.
Fox and Beaver.
Every time I hear that word, all I think of is
his third tape.
Third tape.
What do you think of, Jeff?
Naked Gun. When I hear Beaver.
Just added stuff.
Beaver. Thank you. I just had it stuff.
By the way, Trick or Treat was Mark Price's highest rated movie according to Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm telling you, how 75%? 75%. I mean, and I just looked it up a minute ago. The Punisher was 28. So, I mean, somebody's trying to convince me that Dolph Lundgren isn't a better actor than Chuck Norris. Crickets. Wait a minute.
Here's something weird about
that
Mark.
agreement.
Say that Chuck Norris's face.
He's still alive?
Well, this is
He's
Stuart's
still
favorite.
alive.
So Mark Price is in, or had a part in 10 films. He's either, an actor or a director, or screenwriter, or whatever. And out of those 10, only 2 have a tomato meter score.
Really?
What's that tell you? That's
What's
weird.
the other movie?
What's the other?
Yeah, they're 8. You
What?
have to put her on eBay and somebody makes them in their basement and sends it to you.
I think Mark Price is doing it.
What was the name? What was the name?
Colin, Colin.
Oh, Colin.
Got a 48.
Wow.
Colin. Who makes a movie called Colin? Of course, who makes a movie called Tim?
Or
Hi,
Ted.
Mel Gibson. Hi, Mel Gibson. Well, Ted's different
Oh, why?
because he's a bear.
You convinced me.
He's a teddy bear. It's a character like something different, like Bambi or, but Tim. Hi, I'm a guy. I'm called Tim. That's like when you listen to live footage of Ted Nugent and they're like, we want Ted. We want
Tim
Ted.
is
You're
the
like,
sorcerer
Ted.
in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
Sorcerer named Tim.
That's right.
Yes. My name is Tim.
It's like that movie a few years ago, just called Her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
And Stuart, I've talked to you about. There's a band called The Pop.
Yep.
And they did an album called Go, which is a great album back in '79. But try to look up a band or an album that wasn't very popular in '79 when their names are The Pop and Go. It's just impossible. They're so generic, you just can't find anything.
Mhm.
It's like they just buried themselves without realizing it. It's like, you just give up. I can't find this.
One of the only other stories I can think that's close to that, and it would fit a little bit of a Hammer Away crossover, is Zebra with the song, the La La song. And they went and did it in South America, and they said the people seemed confused. And then we realized all we're saying is the. Oh, so anyway. Somebody mentioned Spaceballs in an email at school the other day, and I was like, oh, it's such a shit film.
Speaking of balls, I watched the Bad News Bears this morning. And another movie night, I think I said that was my. I said that's my favorite baseball movie. So I was watching this morning because I realized it's on Amazon Prime for free. And there was a great scene where what was his name? Armand, I think.
Yeah.
The right fielder. And he gets hitting the balls and he's down, he's just rolling around. And they all gather around him, and you can just hear people saying, one of the kids said something about, oh, I got hit the balls. And then one of the coaches says, like, bring a stretcher. And you hear another kid just kind of whisper really low, they need a stretcher for his balls?
Nice.
It's one of those you can barely even hear it. Great line.
The hidden lines.
You mentioned Spaceballs. I saw on Facebook, Mel Brooks' birthday was a couple of days ago. Guess how old he is? He just turned 95.
I was going to say 90 something. Maybe he's going to be the 2,000-year-old man.
He's on his way.
He certainly is.
He's closer than most of us.
Not far to go now. At some point, you do feel 2,000 years old. You're like, oh, son of a bitch.
I'll go off on my next tangent thanks to Lance, because Lance really set me up with one that I had forgotten all about, talking about Blake Edwards. Yep, he served it up, and I'm going to friggin' hit it about 4 yards over the net and through the back and hit somebody in the stands at the side of the head. That's a movie that I always love watching. If it was on right now, I'd probably end up sitting and watching it because it had everything. I found it when I was about 15, maybe 16. It had everything in it. It was a great comedy. It was adult themes, and it was just slapstick. And it had lots of nudity and all the good stuff in it. And that was Blake Edwards, S.O.B.
Oh, S.O.B.
And I love that movie. I've always liked that movie as it goes on. I love Richard Mulligan. We've talked about it before. And all the actors like Richard Preston and they're just so Larry Hagman, Loretta Swit. I mean, it's just too many to name, right? And then to top it all off, Dame Julie Andrews shows her chest. So it doesn't get any better than that, right? Have you ever seen that movie, S.O.P.? It's really is a well-made movie.
Years ago.
It's got like bull horns on the logo and everything like that, right?
Yeah, it's a bull sitting in the director's chair.
That's what I was thinking.
Standard operating bullshit is, SOP.
Yeah.
And it's
Julie Andrews
really
was married to Blake Edwards, right?
What's that? Julie Andrews was
Julie
married?
Andrews married to Blake Edwards?
Julie Andrews was, yes, at that time. But she did the nude scene. The whole point of the movie is like the Julie Andrews is this prim and pure actress who would never do anything. And the big thing is she turns the movie that loses a fortune and turns into like a softcore porn, and she shows her tits. And so that's exactly what it is. It's like, it was just funny. It was well done, actually.
Oh no, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about Poppins.
So
The
that
hills
was
are alive.
The hills are all.
the hills were alive. Yeah. And how she go into the scene, she looked up, she goes, I'm going to show my boobies. So here's why, let's get off. Let's stop talking about Julie Andrews movies. And this is a movie I saw at a flight back about 30 years ago. And I swear, I wish it had gone further, but there's only the one movie ever made, and that's Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins.
Yes, good call.
And ends at the same time because they never did make another movie. But I love this movie. Joel Grey
Same here.
As I can't remember his name now in the movie, but I really, really enjoyed that. And of course, it had Captain. What's her name? Captain.
Yeah, it's McGillicuddy or something. It's whatever it is.
No, it's Kate Mulgrew.
Yeah, right. That's what I said. McGillicuddy, something like that.
McGillicuddy, and but she played Captain Janeway on Star Trek afterwards.
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
It was a great movie.
Yeah, and it was based on what books? Do you know?
The Reba Williams movie? I don't know that. No.
Oh yeah, it's based on the. Let's see. Don Pendleton did The Executioner, and The Destroyer was another gentleman. He was writing. They were writing the books at the same time. So there's a Destroyer series and an Executioner series, and his was based on the Destroyer series.
Okay.
Yeah. I want, the name was something similar to, I think, like, no, I won't say it. I'm not going to say it because it's going to be really wrong, and there'll be somebody out there ready to shoot my toe off because of it.
Do you think though? How do you feel? Have you guys seen that, Jeff or Lance? Have you seen that movie?
Is it called? Is his name? His name's not Chun, is it?
Chun. Yes, it is Chun.
Yeah. Chun.
Years
hey,
ago.
look at that. Oscar Gold.
Years ago.
And
Yeah.
and Chun. I got Chun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who did the title track to the movie that they played at the end? Much like another movie that's going to be on our show, where 707 did the soundtrack. But who did the title track?
Who is it? Your specialty. You're the music man.
It's Tommy Shaw.
Cool.
He had the song "What If." What if? What if?
BCW. Yeah.
And speaking of boobs, "Girls with Guns" was his song before that.
Okay.
So sorry.
So I'm gonna go off on my last tangent. Just for actual guilty pleasures. There's no more of a guilty pleasure movies than the old. The genre just doesn't exist anymore, and that's like the high school, college movies.
Porky's.
I'm going to start with Porky's, of course. I love Porky's. Mm-hmm. It was a huge hit. Canadian-made movie by, Robert Clark, I think's his name, or something like that? Bob Clark. And that was huge. I got a couple other ones I'm going to see. Share Meatballs, but not quite to the same extent. But definitely to a degree.
I just saw one today. What was it? Animal House.
Animal House, yeah, but I'm talking about those are still mainstream movies, okay? I'm talking about the cheap ones. Like Porky's was a cheaply made but made a fortune. You got this one, I don't know if you remember or not, The Last American Virgin.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Cheesy movie, just kids, but titillating movie, and then
wasn't there a movie at that same time period, like it was Porky's, called was it Hot Shots?
Hot Shots was a parody along the lines of a police squad about Top Gun. Here's one here. I'm going to share the screen. Jeff,
I might be thinking of a different one then, because this was about like college girls.
Well, here's one. This is what I'm going to show you right now. Okay, the screen shared, Jeff or Stu.
Oh.
Get ready for the wildest, sexiest.
Oh, this is what I was talking about. I just had the name wrong.
To do everything within my power, using all my abilities, talents, and assets to win every man on campus Help me hot.
When you got the hots, you got
Oh,
everything.
that guy.
Everybody is out to get the hots. Hots stands for hold on.
Anyway, this whole genre was huge. That was Sam Jones too. You recognize him? Flash Gordon
Oh,
himself.
Flash Gordon. Yeah.
Weren't these all like around 1980?
I'm in here.
I can't believe you showed this. This is the exact movie I was trying to think of when I said whatever.
I think the trailer's almost as long as the movie.
I told you they'd break this joint. It's real cool. It's real crazy. Hot. It'll make your temperature rise.
Everyone knows what HOT stands for, and it's disgusting. H! O! H! S! Hot! 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 Hot!
1979.
79, and that's where Hooters got their idea for the uniform. So
Apparently.
Now, I'm going to
All the
call
letters
that
are in the
my
movie.
definition of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you're guilty, all right.
Now, there's another one that was out called Screwballs, which is actually a Canadian movie. It was
Yeah.
along the same line, right?
Yep.
But
Yeah.
I don't know if do you remember that one? That's actually, I think it's on Amazon Prime free right now.
Wow.
I can
that
play
guy-
it if you want, or it's a couple minutes long though, so that's
Hot's
all
got
right.
a 29% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not bad considering what we just saw.
Considering it beat Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah, there you go. But it certainly was no Trick or Treat. It's a good movie, but it's no Trick or Treat.
Yeah, there was topless moment in Trick or Treat. So,
To me, that's the epitome of guilty pleasures, movies like that.
What is that?
Body's got a lot more bumps.
Gary Owens is back.
Thank you, Miss.
And the Screwballs only have one thing on their minds.
Whipped cream, big boy.
These are all the same movie, basically.
I've dressed for a long time. What were you doing in the girls' restroom?
Field trip? That's Purity Bush. Last holdout at DNA High.
You know, I always have a headache.
My God.
If you're looking for something different, but can't quite put your finger on it, it's Screwballs.
Nice shot.
My.
Any guesses what this got on?
that's like that scene in Grease 2.
Oh, whack it off.
Come in, Junior. Yes, everyone's
This doesn't even have a rating on.
Screwballs.
It doesn't?
No.
Work takes on a whole new meaning.
Oh my God. A TNA orgy.
Screwballs, the nuts who always score. It's not a dirty movie, really. Trust me.
Picture is disgusting.
Process.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, they don't make them like they used to. That's right, Crow.
Whew.
And
So
you
that's
couldn't
why-
make them.
I promise. But when we say guilty pleasures, it's like, oh my god, these movies that they made, they just couldn't make those nowadays, right?
No. Well, and to a certain
Well, they
degree,
want
you're
to.
thankful, I guess. I don't know.
But they made a lot of money.
Oh yeah, they sure did. Sure, yeah. Lance, what's left over on your grouping?
So I've got three. Well,
Just-
one main one and two bonus ones. So
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll be
Go ahead.
right back. I got to let Perry out. She's trapped
in
in a room.
grouping. Okay, let's see. From 1997 with 28% Rotten Tomatoes. I couldn't find my DVD, but I did find my VHS. Nothing to Lose. Martin Lawrence, Tim Robbins.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
It's a buddy comedy movie, and I don't know if you've ever seen it before, but basically, a man thinks he sees his wife in bed with his boss. He gets depressed and he goes and drives off. That's Tim Robbins.
all right.
Along the way, he gets carjacked by Martin Lawrence. Tim Robbins is so pissed off, he kidnaps Martin Lawrence, and they go from California to the Arizona desert. Along the way, they get involved in holdups, reckless driving, revenge, and they wind up tangling with a pair of thieves. The premise, I get you, sounds, not funny, but it's got some hilarity to it. It's just interaction between Martin Lawrence and Tim Robbins. It's hilarious.
Oh man.
But it's Martin Lawrence, Tim Robbins, John C. McGinley, and Kelly Preston.
Wow. Kelly Preston.
Crickets.
What?
Keep going, or
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, wrap them up.
Wrap them up.
Because you're leaving You're leaving your.
I've already
your
done
most-
the best. I already did my best one, which was Blind Date. So these
Oh,
are
okay.
just
That was
bonus
the top. Okay, go ahead.
because I didn't know how long the show was.
Right.
Next
I got
one
you.
I've got Major League Back to the Minors. Essentially, major.
Oh, he just froze.
Oh, damn it. Jeff leaves and everything goes to shit. There you are.
My internet. No, it's my internet. It cycles down.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you're back
so
now.
Major League, Back to the Minors. Is a retired pitcher becomes the manager of a minor league baseball team. It's a team of misfits that, one way or another becomes better. But it's got Bob Uecker, your buddy Ted McGinley, and Corbin Burnson. The tagline for the movie, let me just make sure I remember this right. They're 9 players short.
Oh. This is mind-boggling.
Man, I'm in internet hell. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, it's so weird. You're ready to wrap up and you go to shit.
Yeah. Well, okay. The tagline of the movie is they're 9 players short of a dream team. So yeah, as the announcer.
Wow.
Catcher. Oh, we're dying again. Okay, there you go. So the team of misfits, you've got an aging right fielder who's too slow and too old. You've got the second baseman and the shortstop, which are brothers, and they have the same name. It's horrible. You got a male ballerina dancer as your third baseman. And the past movies were about, the bad team trying to win the championship. Their big thing is they won a game. They want to beat the big team, which was the Minnesota Twins.
Okay.
So it's, it's a movie that, again, a no-brainer. It's just on, no problem. And then my last movie I got, more of a drama. An Innocent Man with Tom Selleck.
I've seen
38% on Rotten Tomatoes. He's a married man that's framed by 2 corrupt cops for drugs, and he goes to prison. And the whole bit is when he gets out, he wants revenge on these corrupt cops. Tom Selleck, F. Murray Abraham, who was in Amadeus.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think. And David Radch.
Huh.
So it's an entertaining movie, but again, a movie that just goes by the wayside. It's forgettable.
Yeah.
Very.
I'm trying to find this one here on Rotten Tomatoes, but I don't see it on here. I don't see that it's, oh, there it is. Okay. It doesn't have a rating. My number one doesn't have a rating. But here's the ending of mine. I have Hardcore Henry. I don't know how many people can watch this. It's a it's shot just like this. The whole film is shot in first-person shooter.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah, and I showed it to my. I love it. I bumped into it. I was like, oh, I got to see that because I saw a preview, and then I went to the library and they had a copy on Blu-ray for 50 cents.
Wow,
Nice.
So I watched it and I'm like, this is so freaking cool. And then I showed it to my nephew and my brother, and they were like, yeah, I don't know. I'm like, really? Okay, because it's just balls to the wall, the whole time, and it gets kind of crazy. There's a reoccurring character throughout, and I thought it was a great film. It got it's a high rating. It got a 97, 52. It's got a 52 on the tomato meter. Let's see. Here's another one. This one is definitely a guilty pleasure. Is this one? Because even though it got a 43, I don't know. I shouldn't like it. I should think it's one of the most disgusting things ever. But the music is still there. The music is in the movie. And I was watching Dancing with the Stars, I think, and what's her name is in it, and she's a real cutie and real sweet in the movie. This one is a made-for-television movie, as is my number one. There's a guilty pleasure.
Court Henry was your number one.
No.
That's on Tubi. Bases of Monsters.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Have you guys seen that? Jeff, have you seen this? Pete, have you seen it, Pete?
I have not watched it. It's on my
to
watch list because I can remember this being out in the 80s. It was on television. Early 80s.
Much the same. Yeah, much the same as Death Race 2000 box. This picture is not indicative of who Tom Hanks was at the time. He did this back in his bosom buddy days, that kind of time. With the more fro-ish hair, and just prior to Big. And so, but it's about the dangers of, where kids were and Dungeons and Dragons overtaking them mentally and flipping out. I almost bought Roadhouse the other day.
We've got the Blu-ray. It's great.
Yeah, that's what I almost bought.
It. Man, it's got Terry Brooks in it. How can you not like it?
Hey, Pete, where's this movie at? Did you say you could watch it?
Tubi.
Tubi.
Was on Tubi. I mean, they rotate around, but it's finally on Tubi.
Yeah. Another one of my, and I don't know, this is another guilty pleasure because it's really kind of a sad story. I mean, it's these decline of Western civilization movies are, especially this one, it's about it's obviously the metal years. And it's got a bunch of these guys that are like, we're going to make it. That's just all there is to it. Well, what's your fallback? I'm going to make it. I don't need it. And London didn't really go anywhere. And it's got Chris Holmes completely trashed on a floating device in his pool with bottles of vodka just floating in the pool. And he just dumps one out in his mouth and over his face. And then he gets rid of the bottle, and then he just pulls another one out in the pool and just opens it up and starts drinking another one while they're interviewing him. And his mom is sitting poolside. It's so sad. And then they like focus in the camera on her, and she's just sitting there numb, like I don't know what to do about it. So there's some sad parts in the movie, but overall, I'm a metalhead, so it's great to see these inside views of these metal bands. And it's got, like I say, it's got guys that aren't that popular. It's got guys that are huge, like Megadeth, Ozzy Osbourne, Poison. You can see it all there. But my number one is something that I grew up watching. Mazes and Monsters came out when I was in high school, getting ready to go into college. And my number one is not a movie. It is The Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
The Plastic Bubble, classic. Another TV movie.
Glennis O'Connor was so she was such a, I don't know, she was one of those gals that was like at a, you have a crush on her. You see her as a, as me, I'm watching her on TV. I'm seeing her in different movies. She was in Ode to Billy Joe, I think, too. But then like the girl that was in the Escape from Witch Mountain movies, she was gorgeous. So it was one of those movies, and I don't know. There was something about it that I really, really enjoyed. And I found this, speaking of Pete, I found it in a garage sale.
Oh, wow.
Years ago. I think I don't know what it was, $1 or $2 or something. And I was like,
wasn't this originally a TV movie?
Yeah, yeah. It's one of my guilty pleasure movies. Some of my guilty pleasure movies
Right,
TV. What's that?
That was during Welcome Back, Kotter.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
It might have been it was pre-Grease.
Yeah, pre-Grease. Yeah.
That's pre-Grease.
Yeah, because it was, let's see, I had it here I'm trying to remember. Oh, 76. So yeah, 2 years before Grease.
Yeah.
Was 77 Saturday Night Fever?
No, 79. Saturday Night Fever was after Grease, right? 1 year? Maybe it's before.
Know.
Maybe it's before. No. Was Saturday Night Fever first?
Yeah, I thought it was 77.
It was 77.
Oh, there you go. Oh, cool.
Hey, JD showed up.
77.
Hey, JD.
Saturday Night Fever.
JD, what's going on? Speaking of the boy in the plastic bubble, do you remember the Seinfeld episode with the bubble boy?
Oh, yeah.
My favorite part of the whole thing
Just around the corner here.
is when they're talking to Bubble Boy's dad, and Elaine's crying over the story of the Bubble Boy, and she's wiping her tears with the napkin. She hands Jerry a napkin. He takes it and he just wipes his face and puts it down.
Oh, that's classic.
Oh,
so,
Pete.
What's this Megaforce movie you're talking about? What is this?
You both could hold that movie up if I remember correctly. You psychotic sons of bitches.
That final scene where he's flying in the air on that motorcycle, that is pure gold.
It is something. That one guy sure looked like he was looking at pure gold.
Doesn't he do like a flip because he's so obnoxious?
He did a barrel roll.
Oh, do a barrel roll.
He's like, oh, and you're like, oh my God, just do it. Jesus. Just act like Jester's on your ass and you have to barrel roll quickly. Not, oh. I'm like, oh my God, if the scene isn't long enough already, which is what some people probably think about me on the show sometimes. Can you just shut up? Are you not done?
You know what I thought was so weird about the movie was the design of the bikes.
Oops.
Yeah, with all the angled and all the offshoots.
It just looks like they did it themselves. It doesn't look like they had it professionally done.
Looks like a bunch of kids put it together. There you go, man.
Not words.
You gotta love the artwork from back then.
That's an awesome poster, though. That is nice.
That is perfect proof of what we talked about earlier. The best thing about that movie, the poster. But in this case, it was the soundtrack too. Because get out there and get it. Because I'll look it up right now and I'll tell you how much it is. It's $707, and the album is Megaforce. And I'll tell you how much it is right now.
Oh, by the way, Pete, we can see your screen, Pete, just so you know. Wait, why can't I hear you now?
He's muted.
True, but nobody else can yet. But now they can.
Oh, okay. Wait, what is this? What is this? I'll try your video.
Oh, wow.
Favorite actor.
There he is. That's the porn guy, man. He is watching porn out the back of that plane. There he goes. You see that? He's like, oh yeah, ooh, yeah. I'm like, what is going on here?
Pete, the best part of this whole video was when I was going through YouTube on my TV, I clicked on it, and it had a thumbnail. You know how sometimes they just show like a few seconds here or there? The whole entire thumbnail was just Stuart pointing and looking up at that. That spot, I have no idea, but I remember doing it. I was like, oh, Stuart just put out a video. And I was like, wait a minute, that's Papa Pete. I was like, what's going on here?
And it's 10 seconds of a 15-minute video, and that's what it showed for a thumbnail. It picks out the absolute best part. There you are, just looking up, dreaming about this movie.
And he's got the mood lighting.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I think
that definitely was a thing of beauty. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna cry.
Because of the beauty of the clip, or because you don't have your own copy of Megaforce?
I was just looking on Amazon. The CD is kind of expensive. It's $35 for the CD.
The soundtrack?
Yeah, well, what it is Megaforce was a record that came out by 707 in 1982. It's one of the what do you call them when they don't get recognition? Underrated. It's one of the biggest underrated albums in the 80s of all time, in my opinion, but definitely for it to have not really gotten much light of day. But the song Megaforce appeared on the record. The rest of it is just a regular pop record. But then when they re-released it now, they put all of the tracks that they did, Eagle One, with and without vocals, and there's some other tracks on there too that were in the film that 707 did. But the CD is $35.
Jeez.
Good Lord. What about the DVD? I mean, what's the Blu-ray? How much did you guys pay for the Blu-ray?
I think the Blu-ray was it was expensive. It was like $25.
Yeah, it's $25.
Really that much?
Yeah.
But it's only in Japan, as far as I know. I don't think they ever released it here, which is weird.
Yeah,
I guess, was it popular in Japan?
It must have been because of its hokiness. I mean, they have it in, this is another thing that I always like to point out. They have it as a 3, you know how Amazon puts 3 things together all the time?
Yeah. If you like this, you'll love these.
Megaforce, The Last Starfighter, and Flash Gordon. You can get them all for $53.30. Because Flash Gordon on Blu-ray is $6.94. Shut your mouth.
Barry Bostwick's pants were way too tight in that movie. Holy smokes, that was bad.
It's got to be aerodynamic to fly like that.
Hey, Salvatore, how's it going? Thanks for
talking about Barry Bostwick's pants. That's all.
Yeah, they're tight. A little too tight.
Yeah.
My crotch is very aerodynamic in this outfit.
He didn't have a camel toe. He had a moose knuckle, right?
Oh! There he goes. There he goes. Welcome to the no shame part of this program, ladies and gentlemen.
Guilty pleasures.
That Pick Runes is doing a number on Pete tonight.
Yeah, there you go.
Speaking of Ted, they have a Ted versus Flash Gordon Blu-ray. It's the ultimate collection. You can get Ted 2, and Flash Gordon on Blu-ray.
Is that Barry Bostwick?
That's Bostwick at a convention.
Wow.
See, that's the beauty of doing a movie like that. You're always welcome at these conventions because people love that shit.
Yeah.
Like that guy you're talking about who played Torgo. Gross. Yeah. He died. I looked it up, and he killed himself at 66. The movie came out in 66. He was 25 years old. Now, the trouble is he would have had to wait about 35, 40 years before anybody cared who he was. True. But imagine like you said, what he could do right this day and age. He'd just be touring across the country, going to these conventions, and making something there.
He would be a beloved character because he was Torgo. And everybody loves Torgo.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. He did something at the time that everyone hated. but 30 years later, everyone's going to love him. If only he would have known.
That's like painters. I mean, we put so much stock in paintings now, and people steal them and they, it's a whole thing where people steal art. And you're like, I get that these are great pieces of art and they're old, but I mean, do we really have to put this much value on something that had no value when these people were alive? Nobody gave a shit about these people when they were alive. And then they die, and everybody's like, "Oh, this painting, it's amazing!" And there's a guy two houses down that's making something that's just as amazing, but they don't know who the hell they are either. Oh, were you just copying that guy? This guy's dead. I mean, so this is really cool.
Somebody was making custom Torgo action figures.
Oh,
what?
Wow.
Anyway, whenever he was on screen, they played that music.
Yes.
And he would just kind of hobble along.
I'm gonna have to see this movie. We should do it. We should do a Mystery Science Theater on it.
Somebody's got shirts.
Oh my goodness.
Torgo.
He looks like he'd be like, I like fried invaders. He's got that look about him. I like them fried taters.
Hey, Crow makes a good point. You think, well, he says Pop Vinyl. Is there a Torgo Funko Pop by any chance?
Crow.
Let's see if we can get Pete to buy something else today.
Dorothy.
Ask Dorothy. Ask Dorothy.
I get Manos.
Somebody made a Torgo comic book. Somebody made a Torgo comic book.
Oh, that's awesome.
Indiana Torgo and the Kingdom of Manos.
See, the cool thing about this is all that, I believe, is in the public domain. I don't think there's any copyrights on it whatsoever. Not that I know of.
There you go.
Manos, the Hands of Fate Blu-ray.
There you go.
Let's do the ultimate version.
I still can't believe that Flash Gordon is only $7. It's less than $7 on Blu-ray. Unbelievable. So, okay. So,
There is.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Oh, yeah. Manos Hands of Fate Blu-ray.
Yeah.
$18, but you can
Funko
get
Pop.
an extra $360 off. Wait, is there a Funko Pop?
Yep.
What? There is a Manos Funko Pop.
Well, Crow has to have it because he loves Mystery Science Theater and Funko Pops.
It's a gimme. Oh my gosh. Oh, thank
That's
God.
not a
It's too much.
custom-made one, is it, Lance?
I'm not seeing it.
I don't know. It's just I just Googled, Manos Funko Pop, and that came up. So I don't know if it's custom because they had to do the packaging too.
Yeah,
Crow
true.
says it's probably a custom made one. I don't even see it though.
I don't
On Amazon?
see it on Amazon, but
Welcome to the shopping portion of GoGameGo.
Damn you, GoGameGo!
I was waiting for that. I was
I'm
waiting
gonna
for
have to
that.
clip that last part, Pete, where he curses out, and just play that at the end of every video. Damn you, GoGameGo!
Have it fade out
Yes.
like my wedding video.
Have your
when
credit
Christine's
cards
like,
ready.
"Where am I still?"
God, we could do that could be a movie night right there. Mystery Science Theater movies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Manos was that Side Hackers. Crazy.
Hey, Crow, start
This
showing
Islander.
us your list of movies here that you have. I'd like to see them. I think he said we only mentioned 2 of
That
his.
wouldn't be under the Pop Games label.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, here we go.
Everything's so quiet.
That's because we're all shopping.
Can I not hear? Why can't I hear anybody?
Here's Crow, Cabin Boy.
What did I hit? I hit.
Oh,
something.
that's the Adam Sandler one, right?
Good boy.
Yeah, with Chris Elliott.
No, Chris Elliott. Yeah.
Battlefield Baseball. Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck. Oh boy, that's a sad movie. Tim Robbins at his finest.
Mac
Leah
and Me.
Thompson.
For me, yeah. 90-minute commercial. Escape from
No,
LA.
Mac and Me. There's a
Escape from
there's a
LA.
Mystery Science with Mac and Me. Escape from LA.
Dude, where's my car? I love it. I'm sorry. Oh yes, that's right in there. Let me tell you. Dude, what's mine say? Sweet. What's mine say? Dude, what's mine say? Sweet. What's mine say? Dude, what's mine say?
Oh, yeah, The Wizard. That's a Nintendo movie, right?
Yep. Fred Savage.
I do like that movie.
Yep.
Dirty Work. Is
Norm
that what
Norm Macdonald?
Thing.
it's Silent Rage? I haven't heard of Silent Rage.
Silent
That's-
Rage is another Chuck Norris
Another
movie.
Chuck
Fun, I like.
Norris. That's the one that's got the big tall dude who was like unstoppable and
Right.
you know. Yeah.
A lot of those that Crow just named are on Tubi. I had to go take a look here.
Howard the
Silent
Duck.
Rage is on Tubi.
I almost bought Howard the Duck. They had it on Blu-ray at Walmart in the bin. I almost
So is it any good? I mean, I've always heard it's just absolutely terrible, but
it's not.
Horrid.
It's not. It's like watching a bad Ninja Turtle movie. It's
is there a bad?
The
No,
worst
but that's
part
what I'm
about Howard the Duck is it gets worse as it goes. It starts off bad and gets even worse right down to the end is the absolute. It's horrid. Like no redeeming qualities whatsoever.
it
You
is
own
like
that
your
movie?
worst. It's like your worst toilet trip.
Yeah.
Howard, like 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
13.
Is that the worst rated one?
Well,
that's been
Hollywood
mentioned in
Nights
the
was
show
14. Yeah, well, Hollywood Nights was 14.
Was it 14 or 12? Because I thought I said
was 14.
14 earlier, yeah.
You said 18.
I said 18.
You were helping
Yeah,
it
okay.
earlier.
yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like,
Since we mentioned it earlier in the show, there have been a lot more reviews and it's gone down to 12.
Yes.
I was watching this show and I got to thinking I better review that and see
Right.
what I think. Take it down a couple notches.
Crow, those are tell you what I think Cabin Boy I was getting mixed up with the Adam Sandler movie. It's called Overboard, his very first one. Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah.
But anyway, Cabin
about-
Boy, yeah, I remember with Chris Elliott, yeah.
What about Dirty Work? Which one is that?
That is Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang as best friends. And well, it's right here.
It's right here.
It's funny. I'm looking up Howard the Duck, the cast. Leah Thompson, Tim Robbins,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Jones, who was the principal in Ferris
Oh,
Bueller,
okay.
Yeah.
Holly Robinson Pete, and Thomas Dolby.
Thomas Dolby.
Interesting.
Is Howard the Duck?
He's
Is Howard the Duck?
Plays, and Howard the Duck. He plays a bartender.
Wow. It's so great because the movie
Yeah.
gets the characters so wrong.
Yeah.
Who voiced Howard the Duck?
I don't know.
Oh, it's got two guys. Ed Gale plays Howard the Duck, and Chip Zion. I've never heard of these guys, but it's two. And Timothy Rose. It's like 3 actors credited with the role.
I've never seen the movie. Isn't it? I mean, it's not a person in a suit, right? Isn't it just like a?
No, it is, I think.
Oh, it is.
Dude, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I'm starting to want to watch it.
It's one of these ones that you should watch it, but watch it once and you'll never want to watch it again.
What about Waterworld. Have you guys seen that?
I mean,
I've not sat
years
through it,
ago, yeah.
I don't like desolation films. I didn't like Stargate. Just any of those kind of movies.
Yep.
So like Mad Max doesn't work.
No, Mad Max is fine, but and Road Warrior's good, but then when it came to Beyond Thunderdome, you're like done.
Oh, Thunderdome, it jumped the shark, man. It was done.
Yeah, it's just but I did like Fury Road. I did enjoy that, and that was kind of a wasteland film. But they had a place to go. I don't know. Sometimes these places have places to go, but I don't care about those places. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see.
Weird.
Those are awesome picks, Crow, though.
There you go.
There's Howard the Duck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember the comic book was popular in the late 70s. And I never quite got it.
Yeah. I think Gene Colan was one of the lead artists on that comic book. I love the artwork in the comics. There was some great covers, like his very first cover where he's like jumping out. I think Gene Colan did some of that artwork.
Well, I remember as a kid, they had the Encyclopedia of the Marvel Universe, kind of a dictionary kind of thing of all the characters. And I had the one with Howard the Duck, and they called him the master of quack food. I was like, okay, that's too silly even for me.
Oh God. Yeah, I think I probably watched it when it came out, but I wasn't a Howard the Duck comic fan either. So I just, it just was.
So, but the real question involved here is there a Howard the Duck Funko Pop?
I would assume.
Crow.
Crow. I defer to Crow.
The official source. That's awesome.
All I know is I want this Rocketeer one, but it's almost $70.
Woo. It's a lot for a Funko.
Yeah, that's too much. Shit, I have problems spending $15 for one. I'm telling you, I'm cheap.
Yeah, a lot of them are around the $10 mark, which is nice.
Yeah, that's why I bought what I did for my friend, because it was a nice little add-on. Yeah, here's a Funko Pop, Howard the Duck, $25, $5 ship, $4.50 shipping. So, and then they have a Howard the Duck. What is this? Contest of Champions, Howard the Duck.
The battle armor one, yeah.
Yeah.
Then they've got another.
And then I like this one, Jeff. They have a
one
Funko Duck Dodgers.
Ooh, Duck Dodgers.
Yeah. Yeah, and a Marvin the Martian.
So I'm looking here, and there is a Growing Up with Manos, The Hands of Fate's book.
Wow.
It's how I was the child star, the worst movie ever made, and lived to tell the story.
It was the worst. It was the worst movie ever made.
The married couple, they had a little kid, so I guess that's her. That gotta be awesome. Wouldn't it have been that kid? You're in this terrible movie, and it'd be cool. Hey, I was in Manos.
I got beat up because I was in Manos. How cool was that?
Well, see, he'll make the rounds to the conventions. He'll go to the conventions and clean up.
There you go. And clean up.
All you gotta do is charge $25 an autograph and $15 a picture. That's $40 a head. That's going to be the cheapest person in the whole place, and everybody's going to line up to get one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, $40 a pop.
Because I'd love to talk to Gene Simmons, but I am not paying that kind of money. I'm like, dude, I already bought so much of your shit over the years, and you want me to spend how much to say hello?
Yes.
I'm like, the hell with you.
I wish you would just. I wish I would have you in line.
Does he charge an arm and a leg?
What'd you say, Jeff?
I'm just picturing you like not knowing he's charging. You wait in line all this time, and you get up there, and you're like, "I spent all this money on your crap, and now you want me to pay to talk to you?" You can go to
on
hell.
top of it. Yeah.
Just walk away.
Go to hell, demon. Yeah, no, he was expensive. I mean, it was like, I don't know, $150 to, and I'm like, are you serious with me right now? Come on. I'm like, I just need to know why you need that much money. I don't get it. And like Pete just said, why don't you just make it affordable and then more people can do it?
Yeah.
And you'll have
and he make more money in the long run.
Personally, maybe that's what it comes down to, Pete. Maybe he does a dick price because he doesn't want to do much. He doesn't want to talk to some people. He only wants to, he doesn't want to talk to me, who's like a big fan since
he already has your money.
Right.
A little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee you the people that are spending that kind of money have bought tons more shit than I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
I bought the albums, and then I bought the remasters, and I've got that, and I've got other shit. I don't know.
I don't get people's autographs usually when I go someplace. I don't care if it's free or not, because the last time I did, I mean, it was probably 30 years ago, and I was getting I was at some baseball convention, and you stand in line for the ball player, and you hand them a baseball. They don't even look at you. They just put their hand out. It's like, you can't even look at me?
Yeah. But I'm going to tell you
down the line. Yeah.
You have to do it. You have to look at it this way, though, too, is you learn a lot about the people when you do that. And that's who you become fans of and who you don't. Right. When you have conversations with certain people, you tend to have more of appreciation, so you learn more. You learn about them by doing it. You go up to a guy like, I'm big into NASCAR, and I have tons of autographs from. Mind you, NASCAR is one of the best organizations in the world for involving their fans and interacting with their fans. And I've met the vast majority of them, and you can really, really see differences in individuals. Some don't look at you, don't care, and some of them do. And I like the ones that do.
Yeah.
Case closed. Like, I've had some amazing interactions. I've had to look at, hey, good to see you again. Remember you here from last year? Seriously. Like, I've seen them 6-7 times probably over the years. But, it's like, and then you have other people, it just doesn't matter who it is. It's just like what you just said. So for that reason, I like to try it because I'm learning too,
Yeah.
The guy that I really like all of a sudden doesn't give a shit, then, well, I give less of a shit than I did before I met him.
Yeah.
And I've done that with hockey players getting autographs and NASCAR drivers and anybody else who I happen to have done it in person or paid. You want to know if I could tell a little interesting story about getting autographs and stuff, is just a little old convention, Bangor Toy and Comic Con we went to a few years ago. 64-bit would have been 1617. And we went down and we interacted with different people. Like I showed you, the Tony Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really Tony Atlas. Okay, I knew him and stuff like that. But after meeting him, I was a big fan because he was fantastic. Bushwhacker Luke, same thing. Nichelle Nichols, Uhura from Star Trek. She was quite expensive, but she was extremely, extremely nice and taught. So
that takes away some of the hurt from the expensive price tag too.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And it wasn't crazy. Like Kirk would cost you $200. She'd be like 50. And it's like, but at the end of the day, when you have a positive interaction, you become a bigger fan. It's a lot of money, but it's kind of worth it. I like her more after than I did before. And I've met many of them that I kind of like, but it's still fun to do. So I like collecting autographs too. So if you're not inclined to want to do it, don't do it. But it's amazing what you do learn when you're doing it.
Yeah. I met up with Michael Golden, who's a comic book artist, and he was responsible for the Micronauts comics in the beginning and also the NAM when that comic book series came out. And he had prints of the comic book cover. So I bought the first Micronauts issue cover print. It's 11 by 17, and I got the Death of Baron Karza artwork that he did. And since I purchased those, they were a little to me. They were a little expensive for a nice printout on an 11 by 17 sheet, but they were nice. But he just autographed them since I bought them, you know, so he autographed those. And then he gave me a deal on his book, and he signed that too.
Yeah.
So, but when you have to go in and do that, and I was very fortunate too to have shaken hands with Lou Ferrigno. And Henry Winkler. And that's all I've ever really, some days that's all you really want. Yeah. And I was happy that he did it, you know, because I was like, you didn't have to do that.
Right.
You know, but I was walking by his booth and he was setting up. It was still early. He didn't have somebody there to help him. I said hello and shook his hand and said, hey, good luck with, you know, all the best with the show. And that was it, you know, and Henry Winkler was leaving his booth and I just had to say hello. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
well, that's cool. Which one was that right there in St. Louis?
Yeah.
I bet you guys, like, we don't have, well, I live so far away, like Lance, where you are, there must be everywhere. There's probably 10 of them every year within 10 miles of you. Is there?
Probably just sees them hanging out
Probably.
in the street.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go to a convention.
Or you'd see him at the airport. When I used to travel to the races, you'd see celebrities all the time traveling. Like, we're coming back from Oakland, and Tommy Chong was on it. And then Cheech Marin picked him up at the baggage. You know, and that was interesting. You know, Danny Glover was on a flight on another trip to Oakland. You know, so you'll see celebrities, you know, out and about.
Well, and I did that. I flew into LAX the one year to go to NAMM, and there was Scott Ian on his from Anthrax on his BlackBerry sitting there, and I just walked up very quietly and just said, "Hey, Scott," and we just talked for a second, and then I said, "Okay, well, I'll talk to you later, man."
I thought you walked up to him and said, "What the hell are you still doing using a BlackBerry?"
No, back when BlackBerries were better than what I had
back then. Yeah,
yeah, that was like 2008, something like that.
Gotcha.
2008, 2009.
Oh, yeah. It's neat though. I don't know, you guys. I'm in the little corner here where I'm 6 hours from Boston, for Pete's sake. So
right,
a whole lot between here and there, right? I mean, Halifax, Boston, Montreal, the three big cities that I'm sort of stuck right in the middle of, and it's a long way to all of them.
Yeah. Have you heard anything new before we let everybody go here? Have you heard anything new about opening the lines for Canada?
Right now, if I wanted to go, I have had both of my vaccinations, so I could come back. There's a lot of hoops to cross, but I basically could come back.
Oh, okay, cool.
Wow.
It's not worth their while, because remember, I live in an area where day trips are the norm. Like, you know, you run 100 yards in to buy gas and milk and come back home, and that's not going to be as easy to do as it always was for the time being. Gotcha. But if I had a trip, like if I was saying, hey, I'm coming down to St. Louis next week, I'm in the position where I could probably do that again. Cool. Starting next
good.
So it is. It's a start. I'm not running right over. I mean, I'm happy now. Just that. Also today, I became eligible. I can now leave I can go to the province where my son lives. He can come here and go back home without having to do a 14-day quarantine. So this is all major steps. Now it's not all the way, but it's coming. It's coming. So I'm looking forward to all that. Like, so I put it this way: could I go to too many games in October? Yeah, it looks like right now I probably could. I'm not, because I'm not pushing it that far, but I'm really, really hopeful for when we all originally planned to go in next June, right?
Yeah. So that's what about your sister's place? Can you get to there?
I will, but it's the same.
We did some shipping things.
It's not easy to go over and come right back, because you have to have tests done while you're over there to come back with. Yes, even though you're vaccinated. And you have to do different applications and stuff now. Used to be
how good is it to get it if you can't? Whatever.
No, it is. You still have to have a pre-test before you go back into Canada, and that's just the way it is for the time being. And that may be over sometime, but for now, it's step by step by step going back to normal. Yeah. It's not like open the door, away we go. Right. You know, it's just not that easy. Right. So that's fine. All we care about is there's progress.
Right.
Progress being made. Right now, if you're Canadian, it's only for Canadian citizens. Like a U.S. citizen still could not come in, no matter what. Gotcha. without specific reasons, like necessary reasons. So interesting. It's interesting. It's kind of
well, we'll have to discuss some things backstage then. After.
Sure. Yep.
I got a couple of questions for you. So,
but it's good to see progress. We're going in the right direction all around.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm real eager to start getting together with you guys and being face to face and having a few sour beers together because I still got one right there on the shelf. So.
Yeah, right there.
That's right there. That's my beer.
Not too far from Dorothy.
Dorothy's gonna drink it.
Dorothy's gonna watch over it.
That's right. Dorothy's guarding it. Yeah.
Just stand and watch.
I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get there.
Next Thursday. Everybody's invited.
I'm gonna get there, and the plastic's gonna be broken on the front of her box, and that's gonna be empty. That's what's gonna happen. Pete will be in the other room and hear her. What was it?
I can just picture it now. It'd be like that scene in Raiders with the idol.
Yes.
Do the weight thing. Get the weight right in the bag.
Yeah. Just so you know, I wanted to get a Howard the Duck Funko Pop. And it is $77.77 here on Amazon.ca. So
now they do on Amazon. They do have the GoGameGo mask, face mask. You know where that's from.
Yeah.
I thought, did you not have that taken down?
Yeah, they took it down. Is it back up?
Oh, did they? I thought it was still up.
No, I complained, and then like a week later, they finally took it down.
They did. Good for you.
That's good. Way to advocate for our show, bro. Nice job.
So strange.
That is totally weird.
So random.
It's kind of random.
How'd they even find it?
I mean, you wonder what it is that strikes somebody's fancy. I mean, you're like, what? Of all the logos of anything you could have done, what is it about that? There it is. I mean, I guess I gotta find that movie and watch it.
Huh?
That right there, I'm sure, is something there's different companies and stuff that will make them for you of whatever you want.
Oh, true.
I'm sure that's what that is.
I think we need a Papa Pete Funko Pop.
Well,
you can hold a can of beer.
With a beer? Nice.
And a glass in the other. You gotta have a glass or a video game in one.
Maybe he's pouring it and you got like the beer doing it.
With a frosty beer mug and cocoa.
There you go. That's it.
There you go.
All you need to do is put two big black dots on your glasses and you're all set.
Yeah, there you go. That's classic.
Papa Pete's Funko night. Yeah. Oh, that's great. Well, gentlemen, shall we? Manos is not a game. Says
2 hours of your life you'll never get back.
Ha! Thank God. Well spent. Well spent.
Oof.
That was fun. Thanks, guys.
Thanks. And for anyone who's watching who wasn't here at the beginning, when we sign off, just hang on. I'm going to replay Pete's video since it was a classic.
Classic.
It's beautiful. It's a great way to end. It's a great way to begin.
All right.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
Take care. Thanks.
Go game gone.
Go game.
I don't remember ordering anything off Amazon. Ordered last Wednesday. What the hell? Oh my God. Oh. Dorothy Spornak. God damn you, GoGameGo!
He looked exasperated. That was classic.
All right. Now, good night.